Excuse me, have you heard the word of the Horned Lord? Don't delay. You need the Horned Lord today in your life. Don't delay it. And you see, the great Lord sacrificed his own horn that you might be blessed. Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so awesome to be with you. Well, I'm sitting here today looking at one of my magical charms. This is the Italian horn, the cornicello or cornuto. I forget what it's called. Anyways, we're going to talk about that today. But before we get into all of this, we're going to talk about the Italian horn. We're going to talk about the red pepper. We're going to talk about the connection between all that. But before we get into all that, I want to give a big shout out and say thank you to all of you who came out to yesterday's video. We had such a good time at the witching hour. If you didn't see that, it's in the queue right before this video. Don't miss it. We talked about all things magical and wicked. Well, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, we're having a special week here at Spirit Channel. Because it's the dog days of summer, we're going to just change things up and have a little more fun and break out of our normal routine. So we're going to have a week of magical charms. And today we're going to talk about the magical charm of the Italian horn and also the red chili pepper. And you're going to say, what? What's the connection? Well, we're going to talk about that today. So just stay with us, okay? Now, before we get into that, for those of you who were not at the witching hour, you missed an announcement. Psychic Bob has created a new painting. That's right. I got a new artwork that is now available. Check this out. This is called the Red Hand of Power. And this is an actual painting that I did. It's done on canvas board. And it's done in acrylics. And we're going to talk about this symbol. This is actually a magical charm, the Red Hand of Power. It's not as known as a lot of other charms, but we're going to talk about that later this week as well. But if you like this artwork, you can get your free downloaded print copy at my website. Go to PsychicBob.com and get your copy today. There's instructions there how to get this once you're there. It's absolutely free, no charge, my gift to you. And you know, when I was making this painting, I just felt the power go through me, and I think it's imbued with a special energy. So anyways, I hope you like it. It's done in the neo-expressionist style, a little reminiscent of Basquiat. And last night, Gav Hines from England said, that looks like Aboriginal artwork. And so I was doing research on Aboriginal work, and it does actually a little bit. So isn't that interesting? So if you like this mystical painting, get a free copy of it at my website. And you can download it, print it, you can put it in a frame. It'd be a wonderful gift for, you know, somebody who just got a new home, or maybe somebody who's an art lover, just for yourself, for your home. You know, so get this today. PsychicBob.com, link will be below. Anyways, well, as I said earlier, we're talking today about the mystical horn. Now, this is a charm that goes back in antiquity. I mean, we're talking thousands of years. In the ancient days, we'll go back to Egypt. Let's start somewhere. They believed in the power of the horned god. Now, this is my statue of the horned lord Kaname. Kaname was an Egyptian creator god, and it is believed that he sculpted humankind from the clay of the earth and breathed life into them. So he was a creator of human bodies and forms. And he worked with the goddess Hecate, who was a mother goddess, to bring birth into the world. So he created the form, and Mother Hecate, the frog goddess, birthed them. And anyways, I just love Kaname because he's always a very kind and gentle god. Look at his sweet face. All of his depictions show him so nice. But what we know by looking at this god is notice his horns. His form is actually that, I believe, of an antelope. And the antelope horns were considered signs of great power. And many of the ancient gods had horns. And this is where in modern day Wicca we talk about the horned lord. Because in the ancient cultures, horns meant sovereignty. They meant power. They meant you were the man. You were the big boss. And so the horned lord has come to us in many ways and many forms throughout the years. And so if we look at like the Viking culture, they wore horned helmets, representative of the Horn Lord. They had drinking horns, which were for victory in battle. So horns have a long, long history of power. And, as time went on, animals became domesticated. And for example, here's a ram, a sheep, and he also has horns. So horns have been seen from ancient times even into modern day times. And the horned lord is seen in all the horned animals. So you're going to say, well, PsychicBob, how does this relate to anything magical? Well, many of you, especially those of you who are from an Italian background, are probably familiar with this. Now, you don't see this as much anymore, but back in like the 1970s, when I was a kid, everybody wore big gold chains. Like you see in the movies, those kind of people say the big gold chains of the open church. Well, it really was true. It was like that. But I lived through that era. And one of the things a lot of people wore back then was the Italian horn. Now, isn't that beautiful? This is my only remaining jewelry piece. I had a whole collection of them in sterling silver. And unfortunately, when my house was robbed a few years ago, all of them were stolen. But I have one gold one remaining. And this is a sign of the horned lord. That's right. Now, the Italian horn really came out of the ancient pagan traditions because it really goes back even further than Italy. It goes back to ancient Greece. There's a legend that Lord Zeus, the sky god, the thunder god, wanted to make an offering to his daughter. She did something really wonderful and he wanted to celebrate. And so he took a horn off of I don't know if it was a bull or an antelope or what, but he took a horn off one of the animals. Of course, he didn't hurt the animal. The gods never injure anybody. But he took a horn and he opened it up and he filled it with all good things, for fruit, with, gold, with silver. And this became what was known as the cornucopia. The cornucopia, you oftentimes see it at Thanksgiving, okay? I'm going to put a picture up here of a cornucopia so you can see where this horn imagery started. Here's a cornucopia. So as you can see, the cornucopia is the original horn symbol. And that's eventually evolved into wearing the Italian horn, because it's believed that the Italian horn brings all good things. It brings the presence of the horn god. It brings the presence of prosperity, and it's a protection sign as well. Because I tell you, when you got somebody charging at you with horns like that, you're going to think twice before attacking them. So the horned lord is a great protector, and his horn brings his energy into our life as a sign of protection. Now, what's very interesting is the modern day horns are generally done in silver and in gold, and this one's done in gold. But in the ancient days, the ancient Romans started wearing the horn amulet, but they made them in a red color. Now, this is a keychain, which is actually an Italian horn, and it's got a crown on it to symbolize the power of God. The crowns represent sovereignty. And the ancient Italians would wear little charms. So they weren't this big, they were much smaller. But they were carved out of coral. They were red. Now, why did we have red coral horns? Well, red was associated with the goddess of love, because remember, Zeus had a big feast and he made cornucopia for his daughter to celebrate her. And so people in Italy started to carve out of coral, which is a red element from the sea, these horns and wore them. Now, I'm not sure where the transfer came. It may have been in the New World, but maybe it was before that. But a lot of the ancients started to notice that the red pepper looks very similar to the red horn. Now this is one of my red pepper charms. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? That's a red chili pepper. And so people started to see the similarities between both of them. And as you can see, they do look an awful lot alike. Now I should probably also mention, you remember last week when we did the evil eye video, we talked about one of the ways to deflect the evil eye was through the horned hand, this symbol. Okay, this is a symbol that many witches today still use because this represents the power of the horned Lord. If somebody's coming at you and you think like you're walking down a street and they look like they might be casting the evil eye or doing something crazy, you make this sign. And this is believed to invoke the power of the horned Lord, and it deflects any evil coming your way. Well, this sign of the horned Lord also started being made into charms. And so even though we're covering a few different charms, we're actually covering 3 different charms actually in this video. They're all interrelated, and a lot of people don't know this. So this is a giant horned hand. Now, I have a tiny one. I've got to find my little one. You know what? Let me see if I can find that. Hold on just a second. Yay, I found it. Oh, gosh, I'm so happy. So here's my little silver horned Lord hands, the sign of the horns. See if you can see it. It's a tiny little one, but there it is, done in sterling silver. It's a little hand. Let's see if I can hold it up this way. And it's got the horns, see, just like that. See that? There you go. So this also ties in with the horned Lord. Now I have this little silver one, and this is actually a keychain, but I use it as a charm in my house, and I hang it on the wall. So the horned Lord is represented through the horned hands, okay? So the horned hands also are connected to the Italian horn. So they're all actually interconnected. Now, you know, a few years ago, I went out to see my brother. I have a brother who lives in New Mexico. And when I went out to New Mexico, I saw hanging on everybody's door chili peppers, like rows of chili peppers called ristras. I found out they're called like strings of chili pepper. Some people had wreaths on their door. It was really amazing. And you know, I got really intrigued with the chili pepper. And at the time, I didn't make the connection with Wicca and the Horned Lord. But later on, I found it out. Well, ever since that, I've been enamored of chili peppers. And I have a number of chili pepper charms. And I want to show you some of my chili pepper charms. But you know what? Before we get into all my chili pepper charms, let me show some pictures here of chili peppers used as decor around houses. Check this out. Aren't those cool? So those are some chili wreaths and some ristras. And people all over the American Southwest, like New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, down into Mexico, Southern California, that is all the rage. Now, I've always wondered, I wonder if those people who hang those really know the history behind that it's actually connected to the Horned Lord. I don't think many of them do, but somehow they know. See, this is the intuitive part. They just know that putting that chili wreath on their door gives them a little blessing, you see. And that again goes back to the power of the Horned Lord. So I want to show you a few of my chili pepper charms here. Because I've fallen in love with the chili pepper. I also love the Italian horns. So some people will say these look like Italian horns. Some say chili peppers. I bought them when I bought them. They were chili peppers. Here's one of my big ones. Now this is a glass Christmas tree ornament. Do you know people do entire Christmas trees now in chili peppers? Can you believe that? That's kind of cool, isn't it? But this one's a shining one made of solid blown glass. It's hollow, actually hollow. It's very lightweight. Isn't that beautiful? So I've got this one. I also have another one here. It's a little smaller. Also done in blown glass. Okay, so if you're looking for some chili pepper ornaments, you know, decor charms, You could also buy these and hang these in your house. That's what I do. I have them hanging in my kitchen area and some in my bedroom. Here's the other one I showed you. Now this is interesting because this one's done in a kind of a matte sort of frosted glass, and this one's in a reflective glass. But they're both chili peppers, you see. And then I have another one right here as well. Now what's interesting about this one is the top little area that hooks the string on is a pentagram. Isn't that funny? So you got like double protection in this. Now, a lot of times what I do is I hang my charms on red thread, because remember we talked about the red cord bracelet. Red thread is also considered magical and powerful for protection. So, you know, whether you wear it as a pendant, whether you hang it as a charm, you know, you can bring the power of the Horned Lord into your life. And if you're somebody who said, well, you know, say, Bob, I joined Wicca because I only want to worship the goddess. I don't believe in the horn. I don't believe in God. I don't want to deal with God. I can understand that, because many people who first come to Wicca have been traumatized by traditional religion and traditional concepts of God, because they've been taught that God is going to throw them into hell. God's a vengeful God. God's wrathful. And so many people find that when they come to the craft, that the worship of the goddess is healing. But I'll tell you, if you're at that place where you don't want the God in your life, that's okay. The goddess will nurture you. But in time, Our Lady will lead you to understand that there is a God as well. And really in traditional Wicca, the God and the goddess are honored. But instead of looking at God as a hateful being, look at God as a gentle, loving being. This is a form of the Horned Lord, Kaname. K-H-N-U-M is how it's spelled, Kaname. One of the most beautiful forms of the God. He's so kind and gentle, never even raises his voice to anyone. He's very loving. So consider that, you know, the Horned Lord can come into your life in a new way. Maybe you'll eventually come to, for those of you who aren't ready, you'll want to embrace this symbol. You know, if you're somebody who's saying, well, I don't know about the God, I don't know if I'm ready for God, maybe just get yourself a little horn, a little symbol. Maybe buy a little chili pepper charm. Just put it near your altar, you know. That could be your very first connection to the God, you see. So the Horned Lord will come to us in so many ways. And whenever we invoke his power, his sacred symbols, such as the Italian horn, such as the red pepper, we get a blessing. I think that the people, particularly in the New World, really started to realize that connection between the red pepper and the Italian horn. And you know what, I look at, I can clearly see why people chose the red pepper. It's clearly a sign of the Horned Lord, you know. You know, in the old days, they used to call men horny. You've heard people say, he's horny, you know. Nowadays, that's an insult. But back in the old days, to be called horny, man, you got some big horns. You were a tough dude and you were a stud. So if somebody calls you horny, take that as a compliment. It really should be a compliment. So, you know, anyways, I'm just saying, let the power of the Horned Lord come into your life and you'll have blessing, you'll have protection. So if you're going to say, well, how do I work with the horn, you know, the mystical Horned Lord? How do I work with the red chili pepper? How do I do that? Well, basically, this is a charm you can just simply wear. Get one to wear. Now, they make beautiful red chili pepper charms, too. I don't have those today. I've ordered some, but they haven't gotten here in time. But you can wear a chili pepper charm as a pendant. You can wear an Italian horn as a pendant. You can wear the horned hands as a pendant. Okay, all of these are the charms of the Horned Lord, you know. And if you're out, you know, meditating or walking and you feel like you're connecting, make the sign of the Horned Lord to invoke him. Not just for defense. You can definitely cast it before you for protection. But what about just going out and raising your hands before the sun and saying, Horned Lord, I invoke you. So you're working with the Horned Lord symbol. So all of these symbols are available to you. Anyways, guys, I'm going to put some pictures here at the end of the chili pepper charms, some Italian horns, all of that, so you can enjoy it. And you know, they even have chili pepper decor. That's right. In fact, before we go to the end here, let me just show you something really funny. For those of you guys, okay, some of you guys have a little struggle in the love department. Well, you know the chili pepper charm can spice up your romance life. So, do you know for guys, they even make chili pepper boxer shorts? Check these out. These are for the guys. And for you ladies, you know, if your man's not being particularly romantic and it's a little, you know, less than spicy in the bedroom, you might get him some of those boxer shorts. And in fact, you could even bring chili peppers into your bedroom. And I have some pictures here at the end of chili pepper decor. You can put it throughout your house. So working with the chili pepper is very easy. You just have to have an image. Now, what I do with my charms is I consecrate them. And basically, I pass them through incense. I don't have all my stuff set up today. But you just pass them through incense and you do a prayer. And you say, Horned Lord, I invoke you in this charm. May your power come. May it be infused with your divine power. And may your sacred symbol bring your presence into our life. And if you do that, that's all you need to do, and you have a powerful charm. Remember, intent is everything. Don't worry if you get the words perfect like I do. Just speak from your heart. Ask the Horned Lord to work through his magical symbols, and he'll help you. He really will. Well, guys, as I said, I'm going to put some more chili pepper charms here at the end of the video. But I thank you for being here. You guys are the best. So, as I said, this week, at Spirit Channel, it's Magical Charms Week. So, tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Tuesday, we're going to talk about the mystical blue cord charm. Now, you guys have seen the red cord, the red thread, but do you know there's also a blue thread charm? A lot of people don't know about that. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, so make sure to be back here. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I love you. Hope you'll go out and explore the mystical red chili pepper charm. I hope you'll discover the Italian horn charm and let these charms bless your life. Keep watching. We got some cool images following this at the end of this video. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And by the way, if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, I still have a few openings this week. Call me at my office, 703-825-3929. Private readings, you and me, one-on-one for a full hour. We'll cover everything, past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from deceased loved ones. You know, we'll look at your life mission, your theme. A lot of you are mystical travelers and you're feeling the call. Let's talk about that. Call and get on my schedule for a private reading. Pop over to my website, PsychicBob.com. Make sure to get your free picture of the red hand of power. We're going to talk about that also this week. And if you want to connect me, also you need my email, which will also be below this video, PsychicBobHickman@gmail.com. You guys are best. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the mystical blue cord bracelet. Blessings to you. And until tomorrow, may you all always blessed